Welcome to Turtle WoW News with Vrograg. I'm your news anchor orc, Vrograg Fishlayer, here to bring you all the server news for the week of April 23rd, 2024. If you're looking for an announcement about this weekend's transmog competition and channel celebration, that will be towards the end of the episode. Right now, there's news to cover. Let's get to it. I'm the orc, and here's the news. The war effort on Telebim is in full swing, and those determined enough to try and be one of the few who ring the gong and open the gates of Anchorage are starting to succumb to the illness known as bug brain. This illness, first documented by Barney Beekeeper 64 as part of her video series on getting the coveted Black Karaji battle tank mount, is quite insidious.
Of those who have contracted bug brain, a condition that befalls all those who enter Silithus with the intent of farming fragments.
The second step of the quest for the scepter and bug mount requires hours and hours of killing silithid bugs in Silithus. Carapace fragments from these kills are turned in so that the scepter hopefuls might get enough reputation with Brood of Nozdormu to go from hated to neutral. In vanilla, it requires 207 turn-ins of the repeatable quest, or 41,400 carapace fragments for most players. While healers disagree on the cause, many theorize that prolonged exposure to the pheromones in the hive tunnels creates the telltale signs of disorientation, confusion, and sometimes madness. If you or a loved one are showing signs of bug brain, make sure they are hydrated and get rest. It seems the Turtle team, aware of the risk of bug brain, have taken the precautionary measure of having the reputation grind for Telebim, and for the rest of the server, some of the war effort quests started as completed. No doubt with Telebim's smaller size and less developed economy, this was put in place so that the event would not drag on too long, preventing an outbreak of bug brain. I wish all those Scepter Quest hopefuls the best of luck and a speedy recovery from bug brain. Also in Telebim news, I recently got word that there will be a limited time XP bonus in celebration of the gate opening event in Telebim. Details as of right now are scarce aside from a sly leak from Acalix. An announcement dropped just yesterday as part of the continuing expansion of Turtle WoW Radio. If you're away from the game but still want to tune in to a live program on the radio, or just listen and feel like you're exploring Azeroth during your workday, now you can listen to the radio anywhere. All you need to do is sign into your account on the turtlewow.org webpage and click on the radio tab at the top. The rough and reassuring voice of Zappo Zapblast, custom Turtle WoW songs, and even shows and skits are only a few clicks away. Great job, radio team. Those are the top stories for this week. Now let's see how the auction house has been faring with this week's Market Watch. Welcome to Market Watch, where I try to get to the other news, but the charts always draw me in. All our data is gathered from numbers provided by wowauctions.net. Make sure to use their website for all of your own market data research and investment due diligence. First to Telebim. The Alliance S&V 200 trended up 8%, finishing the 2-week period at 5.5 gold. The climb was helped by increasing speculation in the Zandalarian Hero Index, with raiders collecting for reputation and Zanzas. Matching the rally too was Enchanting, which grew an impressive 30% in as much time, seemingly benefiting from wild market spikes in golden pearls, and a great leap in value for small radiant shards around the 16th. Over on the Horde, the S&V trended flat and closed a full gold under the Alliance's index at 4 gold 60. There was market activity in the mining sector, which more than doubled in value off the back of a 50% increase in dark iron bars and a massive 1400% spike on blue sapphires on the 17th. To counteract this, other market sectors flagged, like in the Eco Index, which halved in value as a flood of Winterfall Eco needed for Juju power dropped price considerably. Market instability will likely continue due to the ongoing war effort and small server population's vulnerability to market manipulation, so be extra careful, banana folk. Over on Nordinar, the S&V 200 came down from last week's record-breaking peak of 10.5 gold down to 8.5. Much like last week, despite the general market trend, many popular indexes went their own way, like herbalism finally seeing a rebound following the Lasher adjustment. Items like Grom's Blood grew 50%, which certainly helped, as well as Black Lotus, whose relative scarcity is still not meeting demand, and grew 5 more gold in 2 weeks. Historically, however, both herbs paint a different picture. Grom's Blood historically is about as low as it's ever been in our records, while Black Lotus continues to break new records at its current valuation. Fishing has continued to be a hotspot for Nordinar. The index jumped a gold and some change in 2 weeks. Seemingly, it wasn't just Stone Scale causing the jump, as Nightfin contributed, having nearly a price doubling around the 17th, and with the warm season coming, winter squid might start getting harder to find, as seen on the 12th, where the agile cephalopod more than doubled in value and has remained there since. Of course, Stone Scale did have a hand, growing 15 silver since April 8th. Historically, everything changed after the October patch, but since then, its record high of 1 gold and 35 silver still was a new record for the eel. That's all the time we have for Market Watch today. I hope you found some of the information here useful. Make sure to use wowauctions.net for all of your own market research. Remember to keep an eye on your coin, otherwise someone else will for you. Let's get back to the news. On the community bulletin today, we have 2 stories. First, as part of my continuing coverage of the community-made raid speedrun archives maintained by Vita, I took some time to look into the impressive runs posted by Mortality. With their guild holding the record for 3 out of the 4 40-man raids, but not providing public video logs of their runs, I wanted to get to the bottom of if these times were legitimate, or just some yet-to-be-patched exploits. Just looking at the gap between first and second place was more than enough to warrant such scrutiny. Some of the leads were as much as 10 minutes. I reached out to the guildmaster and raid leader of Mortality, Turs, to get a statement about why video logs were being withheld, or if they were being generated at all. He had this to say: "We have put the time into strats in both planning and execution that other guilds have not. Other guilds are more than welcome to come up with their own strats that are superior to ours and do their runs faster than ours, and we would enjoy that scenario. Speedrunning is a competition, and competition is supposed to be fun, but you also shouldn't have to spoon-feed other guilds so that they can compete with you. They can put in their own efforts, and I sincerely hope some do." I was happy to hear that the group has some reasoning behind withholding their video logs, but as a journalist, I was not content. So, on the condition of confidentiality, I was permitted to observe Mortality on their Sunday raid night, while they speedran Molten Core, Blackwing Lair, and the Temple of Anchorage. As an independent observer, I would like to state that all of the previous times posted are well within this group's capabilities, and they did so without any strategy or technique that could readily be called exploiting or cheating. It was an impressive show of coordination, execution, and theory crafting. They even finished all 3 raids within 2-hour window. That means only 1 flask was needed for some. Furthermore, I was privileged to witness a new speedrun record for AQ40 and Molten Core. All the times posted here were verified by my own recordings from the start of the first combat to the final boss's health reaching 0%. So while I always appreciate and encourage open information, Mortality at least has their reasons for being so secretive. That being said, do not let the asterisks on their records deceive you. They are the real deal. My thanks to the Mortality Guild for allowing me to observe their runs, and congratulations on being an example of Turtle WoW excellence. One last note in the community bulletin. I'd like to thank personally Sylvis Valdar and Tanushi Layspark on having me at their RP wedding this last weekend. The ceremony was absolutely lovely, and the turnout was nothing short of spectacular. I caught some snapshots of the beautiful decorating done in large part by Serendipity, who made an outstanding custom wedding cake prop just for the event. We were all even graced by a rare spotting of Torta herself, which helped make the day even more memorable. Thank you, RP community, you guys never fail to impress. Now let's take a look at the changelog for April 16th, which had only 6 separate changes. A few of them were important, so let's check them out in this week's changelog roundup. Those leveling professions annoyed by certain recipes sold in limited stock by vendors can breathe easy now that any of those items, patterns, recipes, plans, schematics, and formulas will no longer have stock limitations. Shamans gained a new niche ability back in the original class changes through the spell Calm Elements, which, much like Soothe Humanoid for priests, would lessen the aggro range of elementals. While I couldn't find an exact time of when the bug cropped up, for at least a month, Shamans got a rude awakening when using the spell, which started doing the opposite of calming elementals and instead just pulled them. Thankfully, the bug and the quirky spell work once again, though application for the ability still remains scarce. And finally, the newly added Portal to Theramore Tome, which drops in Lower Karazhan, had some drop conditions added to it. Though I'm not sure exactly what parameters were applied, the assumption from what I've been able to gather by looking through the bug tracker is that the Alliance portal was dropping for Horde-only groups, and perhaps vice versa. This could be particularly annoying for Telebim, where raids are faction restricted, and though the drop chance for the book was recently adjusted, getting the opposite faction's book probably didn't go over too well. That completes the changelog roundup for this week. This week's changelog may be out soon, so make sure to check it out so you can keep on top of all the latest adjustments coming to Turtle WoW. Alright, that wraps up the news. This week marks the 1-year anniversary for the channel, providing news to the fine community of Turtle WoW. I am regularly blown away by all the love and support you have all given me, from thoughtful comments to donations or even just a simple subscription. A year ago today, I was just like any of you watching this show, a person in the private server community who appreciated the hours of fun and friendship enjoyed through an old video game. All I wanted to ever do was give back to the same community that provided so much for me. From amazing artists, writers, players, theory crafters, and even the random kind soul willing to help a down-on-his-luck orc and taught me the utility of kidney shot. The community was always so giving. I can't thank you enough for all you have given to me as a community, and I hope some of what I've been able to do with this derpy, cringy news channel has paid back that kindness. I could say much more, but I'd like to leave you all with this. A little over a year ago, a guildmate of mine, Koyu, who is a talented artist, without prompting, made me this portrait. I took that as inspiration and made Turtle WoW news. Gestures like this take something like Turtle WoW and make it a community. So put yourself out there, hone your creative side, just make something. It's okay to fail, it's okay to be silly. Just trying to be creative and supportive is all it takes to give back and make your own community special. And in that spirit of community, this weekend's stream will be a special celebration for the channel's birthday, including a transmog competition, a face reveal, fishing of course, and maybe other special surprises. So come join stream or just drop by in game. We'll gather at Booty Bay to kick off the festivities, and a stream will start at noon US East Coast time. I'll get an event posting to the Turtle WoW Discord for those interested in signing up for the transmog competition, so keep an eye out. Spots will be limited. If you like this content and want to support me, make sure to like and subscribe. If you're feeling generous, super chats are enabled, and I have a tip link available. My comments, DMs, and emails are always open for feedback, constructive criticism, and any news items you'd like to have shared. All methods of reaching me will be in the description of the video. It's about time for me to head out. Whatever you're doing, make sure to have fun, be safe, and as always, the deadliest weapon is knowledge.